Welcome back guys. Now in this video we'll learn about some of the important URL helper in Laravel, and this type of URL helper is very frequently used when we make a form, when we make a click link, and they are frequently used. Okay, so to demonstrate the URL helper I made one controller here. You can see with the command php artisan make controller contact controller, and here is my contact controller. You can see here, and I have also made one of the views file inside the view folder, which is the contact.blade.php, and I have extended the layout.app, and I started my section and content, and I indent the content. So I simply write here contact just to test, and I have to go here and I'll make one get route. Okay, so I'll write here get, and then I'll give the contact, which will be my URL, and here I'll give the contact controller, and I'll make a method index inside the contact controller. Okay, let's go to contact controller now, and I'll make here public function index, which is my method, and this method does nothing. It simply return a view, which is the contact. Since contact is outside a folder, so I can write only contact, so it targets to this contact. Now if I go to the contact, then I should get the contact, which means this, so I should see this contact. So let's try this. So if I go here and put slash contact, you can see I got a contact. Now let's start learning about the URL helper. So let's say I have a link anchor tag here, and I have a link, let's say click me. Okay, and okay, click me, or let's say it's more useful, more meaningful, go somewhere. So it is a essential link, it's going somewhere. Okay, it when you click this, it should take you somewhere. So it should be contact, right? Since my URL is the contact, so I gave a slash contact. So now let's try this, and let's refresh this, and let's go to the page source. Now if you go down, you can see our anchor tag, and you can see here we have a slash contact. It's obviously work. But problem with this is that it does not show your domain name. You can see here for our case the domain name is localhost is to 8000, and it's showing only slash contact. And another problem is sometimes this get duplicate, and it gets like slash contact again slash contact, and when you click the link it definitely break the link, and you get 404 error, that is page not found error. So this is the problem with this, and so we don't use this type of slash contact, or we don't use in this way. Okay, so a better way is to you have to use the URL helper. So for that you can use like this, that is which is mean opening and closing curly braces, which means like an echo, and you'll use URL, and then you'll give the slash contact. Okay, because we have the route slash contact. And now let's go to the here again. So if I refresh this, now we can get, you got a nice URL which also include your domain name, which is localhost slash 8000, and this is the good way to build the URL, which is better than slash contact. So we have to use this type of helper. Okay, and there is still problem with this. Let's say that uh, your team leader asks you to change the route or URL from contact to contact us. So here you made contact us, right? So he asks you to make contact dash us. So in order to get this, definitely you have to go to contact us. Now if you go down here, since you made this contact us, the changes is not reflected here. It should also have contact dash us, but changes is not reflected here, and when you click here it gives page not found, that is 404 error. So in order to make this work, you have to go again form, in the form, and you have to make like this contact us, and then if you come here and then it's now reflected, and then only you'll get the result. So imagine that you have to make changes in only one form, then it's not a problem. right? But you have to make changes to a lot of form, then it is a really problem. Okay, it's a really problem. So in order to solve this, Laravel has gave another helper, which is the name route. So it doesn't matter whatever you give the URL, the URL never breaks when you give the route name route. For that, you need to give here name. You write here name, and you give any name. Okay, so I'll give like contact dot view or contact dot store, anything. Okay, so I'll give URL name route this, and I'll copy this, which is my name route. It's called a name route, and I have to go in my form, and here I'll write route. So I write route route, and then I'll give my name route is contact dot view. So now I have to go to contact slash us. So I'm in contact slash us, and even I go here, it changes it here. Okay, all right. We have no break any. We got the result. And even if I made some changes here, suppose if I make contact, then I don't have to go again here and make changes. The changes will be automatically reflected here. So now I have to go here contact, because I'm not no more in contact us. So if I go contact, now if you scroll down, the changes is automatically reflected here. You can see here the changes is automatically reflected, and this was not in the URL helper, right? So whatever you give, it doesn't matter. Even if you give test, you don't have to go to form to make changes your URL, since you are using the name route. So if you go test, now again you'll get the result. So the advantage of this name route is that you do not have to go to the form every time and make changes, right? So this is one of the best approach, and we frequently use this route helper in our form or in any making the link. Okay, so this is the best approach. And there is another way also uh, we can give, and that is the action helper. And this action helper is not much used, but you can use this as well. So action helper, if you are using the action, instead of giving the, let's make it again contact, instead of giving the route, you have to give the whole controller and index and the method name. So if I give contact controller at index, it should target this. So if I use the action, I have to give my controller and the method name. Okay, so now let's go to contact again. So here I'll make contact. Now let's scroll down. Now you can see here, even you click, everything is fine, right? So action is also one of the way, but action, if you use action, make sure you are giving the name of controller and name of method. Okay, now after this, let's learn about the asset helper. So let's say I have to access something from my public directory. Okay, so let's say image, I have one image here. So I have one image that is main.jpg. So I'll write img src, right? And to get the image, if I use directly main.jpg, it may not give me the image. So for that, we use the asset helper, right? Asset, asset, asset. So what this asset does is that the main task of this asset is to target your public folder. So if you write asset, then it targets your public folder. Now it's up to you what you want to do. You are already in public directory. So I'm in public directory, so I want to access main.jpg. So I'll write main.jpg. So now if you go browser and if you try this, you can see here we have the image which is we got from the public directory. And let's refresh this and let's see here. Now you can see here everything is working perfectly. So similarly, we can access any JS file or CSS file or images if it was inside the folder as well. So let's say I want to access the file like which is the app.css inside the CSS file. So for that, I'm already in public, so I have to go to the CSS folder. So I'll write CSS, then I'll write app.css. So okay, app.css. Now let's save this and let's refresh this. Now you can see here you got everything. So you got your domain name, you and then your you got a CSS folder, and inside CSS folder you have the app.css. So guys, this much for this video. I hope you learn about the URL helper, and I'll see you in the next video.